much. Let's pop you over to Cape Town now. Parliament Standing Committee on Appropriations Chair, now Dr. Mmusi Maimane, is currently tabling the Appropriations Bill. Let's listen in.
Please let us ensure that we have established our priorities. We are clear where the economic reforms are. We budget accordingly and create plans that can ensure that the budget process is smoother and that the people of South Africa can experience the fullness of participating in their contribution of the appropriation bill. I want to, honourable members, give a few contexts within which this bill occurs. This bill occurs in a context upon which 22 cents of our money is spent on debt servicing costs. It occurs at a time where we have to prioritize supporting the social wage, but ultimately it is growth and infrastructure-led growth that is going to take us forward. 61% of our budget is in the social wage. And if we are not careful in how we prioritize budgeting, honourable members, in the outer year of this medium term, we will be spending more on social grants than we do, in fact, on any other economic area. It is also deeply concerning that as you look at the budget that is being put here, 1% of the total appropriation is spent on innovation and areas that improve growth, small business, trade and industry. These are small budget areas, and that is why we welcome the expenditure being put in the Department of Transport, over 1.3 trillion rand over 2025-2026 as a commitment to infrastructure growth. It's going to be important, honourable members, as I want to anchor this discussion to say, let us also focus on reforms. That is why the Department of Public Works and Infrastructure must continue to audit all and identify abandoned and underutilized state assets. This will mean that we no longer have to pay inflated prices on office space. It's important that the Department of Public Service and Administration must expeditely audit ghost workers and ensure that we conduct lifestyle audits across all departments. Deputy President, I think it's going to be important that when we look at the various departments, whether it be sports, culture, science, technology, that there can be cost savings by rationalizing the list of agencies that are listed in many other departments. We have, in essence, agencies for agencies, which means that we are dispensing money in those areas and not spending accurately on frontline services. I want to highlight, honourable members, that as in the Department of Health in Vote 18, as we look at it today, that the Department of Health, we welcome the stimulus of the additional number of doctors that are coming forward. But we furthermore need to highlight this issue of the medical legal claims as part of what constrains provincial health departments and ensure that we rationalize and deal with the fact that as departments spend this year, they have to use that money to pay for last year's medical legal claims. Lastly, I celebrate the Department of Transport and the welcome, and I want to urge that, Minister, we should do our best to assist SAA to recruit the amount of 1.5 billion rand sitting in foreign countries. Fellow South Africans, as we continue this process, especially in the medium term, let us prioritize the funding of ECD centers. If our kids don't start school well, they don't finish well. Let's ensure that we fund the money that has been in the gap for PEPFAR, and as we face geopolitical wars. We need to be clear about when we do spending reviews in this medium term, we must be far more efficient in how we deal with the money that has been allocated to us. And that ultimately, future policy and budgetary direction around COVID-19 must be clarified sooner rather than later as we begin next year's budget process. If our challenge indeed is growth, our correlating challenge must be the eradication of corruption. Wasteful expenditure is not assisting. So therefore, honourable members, as I table this report, I want to thank the Committee on Appropriations for the incredible work that they've done in dealing with version 1, 2 and 3, but also commit all of us that until we focus on growth, we will spend less and less, and we will be as a society failing the people of this country. Ke a leboga, Speaker, I tabled this report and this appropriations budget for adoption.
Thank you, Honourable Lehanyane.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Good morning, Honourable Speaker. Good morning, Honourable Deputy President, the Chief Whip, Ministers, and fellow members of Parliament. Honorable Speaker, first of all, let me declare the support of the ANC for this Appropriations Bill and urge the House to adopt it. The Standing Committee had an opportunity to interact with various departments. We also formed part of the various mini-plenaries where respective budget votes were debated. Honorable Speaker, let me preface my debate on two important seminal events that I think are of morality to this debate. These events, which involve two African tribunes, Shambel Apepe Bigila and John Stephen Akhwari. Bigila was an Olympic marathon runner from Ethiopia who participated in the Olympic marathon of 1960 and 1964. And Akhwari was a Tanzanian who ran the Mexico Olympic Marathon in 1968. Bigila went to the 1960 Olympics without shoes and ran the marathon. He won the gold medal. The athlete from Tanzania went to the marathon of 1968. He cramped during the marathon. He fell on his knee. His shoulder was dislocated, but he ran to finish the race. Let me go on, Honorable Speaker, and say, in his first State of the Nation address in 1994, President Mandela, who during this month we remember very fondly, said, open quote, "The government that I have the honor to lead, and I dare say the masses who elected us to serve in this role, are inspired by the single vision of creating a people-centered society. The purpose that shall drive this government shall be the expansion of the frontiers of human fulfillment and the continuous extension of the frontiers of freedom." Close quote. When John Stephen Akhwari was asked, why did he continue with the race, even when he was injured, he responded by saying that my country did not send me 5,000 miles away from Mexico to go and start the race, but they have sent me to come and finish the race. Close quote. The Honorable Chairperson of the committee has spoken about the context within which this budget or this appropriations bill is presented. A context of constrained fiscal environment with very, very serious difficulties and budget cuts. Honorable Deputy President, what we are saying here in this budget speech is that the government that you have the honor to lead, the ministers that you have the honor to work with, the deputy ministers that you have the honor to work with, and the chairpersons of committees of parliament must run barefooted on behalf of the people of South Africa for us to realize the expansion of human fulfillment that Nelson Mandela has spoken about. Honorable Speaker, we welcome the additional allocation that has been made to SARS, and SARS exceeding $1 trillion in terms of revenue collection. And we attribute this to the work that SARS has been doing, that is also complemented by the Border Management Authority in securing the borders of this country, but also collaborating with law enforcement agencies. And we want to thank the Minister of Home Affairs and the former Minister of Home Affairs, Dr. Aaron Motsoaledi, for the sterling work that they have done in ensuring that the Border Management Authority is put in place and it deals with the problems that afflict South Africans. Honorable Speaker, we welcome the additional allocation that has been made to ECD. The challenges that we face among Africans, and if we are going to stand true to what President Mandela has said about expanding human fulfillment, the only companionship that our people can have is with education. That is a lifetime companionship. We have to drive very aggressively early childhood development foundation so that our people can benefit from this democracy. Honorable Speaker, we also approve or support this allocation so that we can restore services in our municipalities, we can make our local government to work. And Honorable Minister of Local Government, making our local government working means that yourselves, together with the Deputy President, must no longer tolerate a situation where we have a municipality led by 2 mayors at once, 2 speakers at once, 2 municipal managers and 2 CFOs simultaneously. We endorse this budget, like I have spoken to the Minister of Sport, Arts and Culture to say, we want to hear his department speaking on behalf of ordinary South Africans like Johannes Mosetla from Skukune, who ran this year's Comrades Marathon at the age of 83.
All right, you're listening to Soviet Lekhanyane, ANC MP, making his contributions in the lead up to the vote on the Appropriations Bill expected in Parliament later this afternoon. This is the last hurdle before Budget 2025 is officially adopted and passed. But we'll keep an eye and an ear on that.